Hey folks, Daniel here. In this episode, we are replacing the front sway bar end links on my Cadillac CTS V Sport, and this procedure is good for 6th gen Camaros, ATSs, and all the CTS line. It's a pretty quick install and it may help get rid of some minor clunks you feel in your front suspension. I'll show you how it's done, so keep watching. So these are called the sway bar end links, or sometimes called drop links. Oftentimes they're made of metal, but the ones on the CTS are plastic. You can get replacement ones from places like 404parts.com or even Rock Auto. Rock Auto sells the Moog ones that are metal. It's an aftermarket suspension part. I have heard that some people weren't so happy with how those went, but you know, results may vary. I'm sticking with OEM for this car. So these attach to your strut on your car and the other end to your sway bar, and it's important that these joints are still intact really well, because if they're not, there's gonna be play and that can result in clunks in the suspension. So these ones are nice and fresh, they move smoothly, there's no play in them, and I think it's about time to do that. I have 85,000 miles on my car. I do hear in the left side maybe a little extra noise when I hit those reflectors in the middle of the road, but I don't know if this is gonna help. Either way, it's a cheap replacement, just gonna refresh. For this installation, you'll need the following tools: an 18mm socket and or wrench, a 6mm hex key or socket, a ratchet of course, and a jack and jack stands to hold both sides of the car up evenly. Although it might be possible to do this without removing the wheels, you should remove them for easier access. If you need more info on raising your Cadillac or Camaro and or removing the wheels, I have other videos for that as well. Now when you're going to do this procedure, it's really important to lift both sides of the car, and that will load the sway bar the same. If you don't, the sway bar that attaches this strut to the other one will have torsion on it or flex on it, right? So it will make it very difficult to remove these end links. So you want them both raised, and it'll make it a lot easier to pop these out. Let's get started. So this is the top of the end link attached to the strut. It's an 18mm nut with a 6mm hex hole at the end of the bolt that the nut is on. So if you just try to remove the nut, the bolt is going to turn in the center, so you need to hold it in place with the 6mm hex key. Or alternatively, with a ratchet, turn the 6mm hex bolt while holding the 18mm nut. The same applies to the bottom attachment point here, 18mm nut and 6mm hex bolt in the center. Now the easiest thing to do here is use an impact to zip it off, but if this doesn't work, we'll have to do it the old-fashioned method. And that, folks, worked wonders. So now that's loose, and we'll do the lower half. Again, if you had to do this yourself, it might look something like this, where you have an 18mm wrench and you hold the center of the bolt there with a 6mm of some sort, or this might be on a socket ratchet, and then you can just hold it with a standard wrench. So this is kind of in the way. We can pop it off if we like. It's just on a little socket, so we can just give a little nudge off here. Really not in there with a lot of force, but it can be tricky to pop off. There we go. I am using an offset wrench here. It's because I don't actually have an 18 in non-offset. All right, tedious part is over. Got that nut off. End link. All right. Now I can't say that this old end link had really much more play than the new one. Yeah, they feel very similar. So I may not be improving anything here, but at least I know they're fresh. Now you might be wondering, well, which is the right side and how does it go? Well, it helps here is right here. Look what it says. Strut side forward. And then over here in this little hole down here, it says stab bar side. So stabilizer bar side. And then right up here, there's an LH for left hand. So this is the left hand one. Take your nut, get it started on there, at least until the center bolt starts to turn. Then we'll get the other one in. Now the tedious process of getting that lower one on, and I should be able to zip the top one on. Wow, that did not turn at all. I was able to get it all the way down. I think that's awesome. Still not turning, so that's good. I'll just keep cranking it down. Okay, now we need to torque this one. Let's get the old torque wrench. The torque setting is 74 foot-pounds. Oh, good, I moved the mag ride out of the way, and now we can torque it down. Yep, 74 foot-pounds, great. And then reattach your mag ride attachment point here. There we go. First I'll use the impact to see if I can get it on there mostly tight. All right. All right, folks, that's it for replacing the sway bar end links. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side and I'll be done. Now, if you haven't seen my other video I recently did, I did the lower control arms, the rearward lower control arms. I already did a video a long time ago on the forward lower control arms. So if you need help replacing those, be sure to check out those videos. If you haven't done it yet, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Thanks so much for watching the Jet Fuel Only channel. We'll see you next time.